everybody. Welcome to Delaware Does Entrepreneurship. I hope everybody is safe and sound, maybe inside, hopefully not driving at the moment. We know that our crews are out, and a big, big thank you to Delaware City and Delaware County for taking good care of us. So everybody stay safe out there. We are so excited to bring you a special edition of Delaware Does Entrepreneurship. Many of us are coming from our homes, so we welcome you to also join us from your home. We are going to be joined today by somebody who is launching Opendemia. We'll learn all about what that means. And then we want to hear from all of you. This is your time to either share your 90-second to 2-minute idea with us, ask some questions about the entrepreneurial ecosystem, how you might want to be a part of it, or just kind of what's going on. And then any ideas or questions that you might have related to economic development. We have our experts here from the city and our partners in this whole event and Delaware Does Entrepreneurship. So we're excited to bring this to you and to hear from you. You are probably seeing us on several different channels. So on Facebook, on LinkedIn. One of the best things that you can do, we are going to add into the chat here in multiple places how you can actually be on screen. So hopefully everybody is ready to make their debut today on screen. So you can join us, be a part of the conversation, ask those questions. If you're not quite ready, maybe you haven't had all your coffee yet, you can also just add into a chat or into any of the chat boxes that you are on. So whether you're on LinkedIn or Facebook, and we will see them. We can actually post them right here on the video, and then that way we can answer those as well. So want to welcome you all. Say hi to Sean. Sean, hopefully you're doing safe, or you're doing well, keeping warm, haven't hit any ice. So thank you for being partners in this, and want to see if you have anything that you want to add as we get kicked off today.
Yeah, just welcome to all the entrepreneurs throughout the county and elsewhere who are joining us today. I think 2022 is going to be an amazing year for all of us to work towards our dreams, and we're here to help. Megan's team, my team, the county team, whatever you need, we are always here to support you in achieving your goals.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, let's dive right in. Today we have Zach Graber with us. He will tell you a little bit more about himself, but he is the founder of Opendemia, and we will learn what that is. So Zach, if we could pull Zach up and have him join us. There he is. Hi, Zach. So Zach, we're hoping that you can share a little bit about Opendemia and then show us what it is.
Yep, that sounds great. And just so everyone knows, I'm probably going to have to say next slide between every slide because we got someone in the background switching through them. So that's not me talking to myself, I promise.
So Zach, can you tell us a little bit about you as we get the slides up and everything? How did this come about? Who are you? That kind of thing too.
Yep. So I went to Ohio State for my undergraduate degree. Spent a couple years there doing undergraduate research and just realized how tedious the whole process of doing research and writing was. A lot of students just become overwhelmed by the process. And you could even say I had a very good experience doing it. I got research distinction, submitted my project for the President's Prize and was a President's Prize fellow at Ohio State. So I was one of 2 graduating seniors that was selected to do a full year research fellowship after graduation. As far as the entrepreneurial side, my father was a small business owner, was always interested in that growing up. That's why I did the research in the first place. I just thought, the best way to start a company is to dig into something you're passionate about. And that didn't technically pan out. Some of the waste research I did was some good findings, but nothing that I could turn into a company yet. But actually it did help. I'm working my part-time day job right now is with a startup working in the clean tech space, and it's all coming full circle again. So that's kind of what I'm trying to promote today, is that research and writing is beneficial no matter the career path you're going down. And we need to empower high school and college students to get encouraged by it rather than discouraged.
That is great. Wonderful. Well, I think Sean and I are going to go away. You're going to take over the screen and share with our guests. So we will say goodbye for now, but encourage everybody before we do step away, encourage everybody to ask those questions, and we can show those so Zach can answer those live when he sees them.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Cool. Steve, you want to make that a little bigger if you can, or? There we go. Sweet. Cool. Yep. So hello, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Zach Graber. I'm the CEO of Opendemia, and we're focused on making research and writing easier for students. We named the company Opendemia because the whole goal is to open up academia. If you could just imagine for me the impact of millions of high school and college students across the country and the world becoming empowered rather than discouraged by research projects every year. At a minimum, these students have less stress and learn how to research and write effectively, which will be impactful no matter their career path. And at a maximum, these projects could lead to contributions on disease, poverty, education, or any issue that students are passionate in. The problem is students are regularly given research and writing assignments, and most are left feeling unprepared and overwhelmed by the task. And honestly, most students actually enjoy learning about things they're interested in. It's finding reputable sources, taking quality notes on them, turning those notes into a paper, and all the citations that go with it. To back up my point, think back to your time in college, or if you're in college now, how you felt the last time you wrote a paper. Wasn't the most fun thing. The solution was to create a website designed by students for students to make doing research and writing papers easier. Not a productivity tool just to make part of the process quicker, but a learning tool that helps assist students throughout the whole research and writing process. Make it easy to keep notes organized, automate the in-text citation and full works cited process, allow collaboration with others, and save it all for future use. Let's see if it'll let me hop over for a quick demo. If not, I can send our guys on the back end a video to share. Awesome. Can you guys see the website? I guess I'm not sure how to get notification if you guys can see it. Can someone throw something in the chat if you can see the website?
We cannot see the website from there, so I can pull it up for you.
Okay, here, let me I'll send you a.
Oh wait, hang on. I think I know how to do it. Go back.
Okay. If not, I can just send you I have a tutorial on YouTube that will just have, I'll have to sit through and listen to my own voice.
They can see it now, so they can see your screen. So go ahead and keep going.
Awesome. So here's the landing page. After a student has created an account, they can drop into their library. Here, let me expand the screen. Within the library, they can create a new project for any topic they're studying. It just drops right in. And let me show you an example of one I've already created, where you create new sources to go within that project. A source you created just like you would on an EasyBib or citation machine like students use currently. Pick a name, the class the course is for. If it's a website, book, journal, they can auto-generate it the same way they would on other tools. But what we do is we kick them over to manual and show them what all was auto-generated for them to make sure they double check whether the title or the author or the publishing year, whatever could be missing. That way they fix it right away instead of realizing after they turned it in and get a bad grade. They can also immediately write a comment on why they think that source will be useful for their paper, and attach it as a PDF so they can access it on any computer later. If it was behind a paywall at school, they'll be able to access it at home and it's all saved. After they've added the source, here's an example of one. It'll kick them straight to the add quotes page. What we do here is when students pull out a quote or an image, we notate them right away to put the page, paragraph, or time it is in the source. That way their in-text citation info is already prepared, and a comment on why that specific source will be useful for their paper as a whole. Then after they've inputted those and they're working through their paper, they'll be able to look at each image or quote, why they thought that was useful, and have the in-text citation right away to add in. Mark that as used, move on to their next. Mark that as used, and if they don't want to use one anymore, they can still leave it in here and just leave it unmarked. As they finish that paper, they mark that whole paper, every source they want is in, move on to their next paper, or their next source. Mark that one as used when they have everything done, and done. Then they can drop right down to create a full works cited for their whole paper, pick the project they were working on, and it's already done for them in MLA, APA, Chicago, and we're working on AMA currently. One other neat thing that we've added is they can do group projects to share with another student. The only difference being we notate then who added what source, so you can keep track of who's all contributing in the group. Here's an example of what that would look like. Oh, there we go. It looks like, dang, I don't have one for you guys right now. It looks like I deleted that folder, but the only difference would be up here in the corner, it would say added by Zach Graber, added by Steve Flaherty, and you could keep track of who's all doing work. And we're constantly looking to add new stuff. One other thing is all this info, if it's useful for a future paper, you can copy it into a new project. So all of these notes and sources can be used for a future project that's also relatable. And that's kind of the quick overview of what we're doing at OpenDemia at the moment. Let's switch back to the slide deck if we can, Steve. Fantastic. And if we can switch to the next tab too. Cool. So why now? As we all know, COVID has been tough on a lot of industries, and education is no exception. It highlighted the need for high quality e-learning tools and for everyone to be able to accurately and concisely disseminate knowledge. Plus, amid the virtual classes and social distancing, universities are losing a lot of their enrollment and need to provide more value for their students. OpenDemia, we're part of the reference management software market, which is projected to grow at 8% per year and reach about 413 million by 2025. We also have planned functionality that will allow us to spread into the larger learning analytics tools market, which is growing at 21.5% per year and is projected to reach over 8 billion by 2024. Our current TAM consists of over 484 million high school and college students worldwide. And recently we had some users reach out to us that weren't students anymore. They were industry researchers and want to know if they could use the tool. And it's definitely open and accessible to them. So we have a whole new market we weren't even focused on. But currently we're looking at the US market, specifically junior and high school through undergraduates, with 10 million of those being immediately serviceable on any given semester. Currently, there are two main routes available to students, with neither one truly solving their problem. First is what most students do. They take notes in a Word doc, which usually just becomes a URL with quotes thrown in below it. No comments on why they think that quote will be useful or where it was at in the source for the in-text citation. And then they can use a Purdue OWL or EasyBib to help make the citations a little easier. However, this leads them to forgetting why they thought a quote was useful, having to go back and find more info for the in-text citations, and these messy notes aren't very useful for future assignments. Second is designed for professors and those who already know how to do research. Our MVP test was in a 15-person honors class at Ohio State, and they spent a full hour showing the students how to use a tool that professors use like Zotero. 2 weeks later, I went back to them, and after that hour course and 2 weeks to look at it, only 3 of them had looked at it anymore, 3 out of about 20 students, and only 1 decided to use it. All saying that it just seemed too cumbersome to learn and it wouldn't help with the parts that they find difficult about the paper. So at OpenDemia, we have found the perfect balance of giving students the tools they need and the right prompts to make it simple through the whole process. We're opting for a freemium model at the moment, capping at storage instead of taking any functionality away. That way the free version is just as useful. And we're currently 4 times cheaper than EasyBib or Zotero for pro accounts, and have new functionality planned to introduce a 3rd tier. We're also hoping to offer an institutional pricing model where we're really excited for the potential of sharing insights back with the university on what students are doing research on, and how they're going through sources throughout the semester for curriculum design and improvement. When it comes to growth, we're trying to be as scrappy as possible. We're focused on creating TikTok content to meet students where they are, trying to partner with national student organizations like the FFA, trying to become recommended by university libraries, where we're already on 4 different websites: Ohio University, the University of Maryland, Columbus State, and Prairie View A&M out of Texas. We're trying to get ourselves added to top articles. If you search top 10 citation generators, the top article that comes up, we've been added as number 2 on that list. We feel that will be a lot quicker than trying to get our own SEO to compete with all the ads that are already out there for established competitors. We're also in the midst of trying to create a campus ambassador program, and are excited about the potential of that. When funds allow, we hope to do some paid influencers as well. As mentioned, students are on TikTok and Instagram, and that's where we want to meet them. And we are currently running a $500 scholarship contest where students can post an original TikTok or Instagram reel sharing something positive about their experience with Opendemia to enter. Now, the team behind this, we're all semi-recent graduates. I was one of the first 5 employees at 2 other startups and helped grow and raise over $3.1 million in seed funding. And as mentioned, was a President's Prize Fellow at Ohio State. My 3 awesome co-founders make off the software development team and have an array of complementary experiences from years at Amazon to fintech to specialized consulting coding work. We also have tried to assemble prominent advisors. Some of them include Todd Bloom, the managing partner at WGU Labs Fund, the Delaware Entrepreneur Center at Ohio Wesleyan, which I'm lucky enough to present at right now, and Launchpad Incubation at the University of Toledo. We're also trying to find a ton of unofficial advisors who can express their willingness to help whenever they can, like Jamie Cassip, the former chief education evangelist for Google. So where are we now and what do we need? Currently, we have a little over 2,700 accounts, and that's spread across over 800 high schools and colleges across the US and world. Our monthly growth rate is continuing to rise, and we've spent $0 on marketing. That's mostly word of mouth with some emailing and cold calling. What we're looking for is any follows and engagement on our social posts you can provide, intros to universities, professors, students, academic organizations, or anyone else you're connected to that you think could provide some value or even critique and help improve the site. We'd also love any links to potential grant funding or pitch competitions. We're trying to avoid raising any money right now, but would love to explore either of those avenues. But thank you for allowing me to share Opendemia with you guys all today. And I hope you can join us on our mission of creating and disseminating more knowledge by making research and writing easier for students. I'd love to answer any questions you have or hear out any critiques.
Well done, Zach. Thank you. I know, research and writing is it's an intimidating activity for a lot of students. And I think this makes it feel much more accessible, and kind of takes I don't know, I think for a lot of our students, and I can talk just for Ohio Wesleyan students, but that there's a fear of doing it wrong. There's never the intention of misleading or not citing on purpose, but sometimes I just don't know how to do it. So it feels that this is very student centric and really can address those concerns and also teach along the way, which is also really exciting. I'm curious if we have some either questions or feedback from the group. And Sean, any thoughts on your end?
I wish this was available back in the day before computers, because I was making citations and notes in a pad of paper. So this is fantastic. It would make it a lot less intimidating. So great work in developing a very useful tool for students and academics. It's fantastic.
Thank you, Sean. I actually I had similar feedback to that to President Drake when he was still at Ohio State. I got an opportunity to kind of tell him about OpenDemia. And yeah, he shared the same thing, that he used to just have sticky notes laid out on his desktop, and like an actual working desktop, not a computer desktop. And just how that's changed over the years. So yeah, I can't imagine. It's already bad enough now, let alone what you guys had to go through. So.
Hi there, Mike. Welcome to the screen. Oh, you are on mute. Thanks for joining us today.
I apologize. Hey, thank you very much, Megan and Zach. Hello, Sean. And yeah, I was just intrigued with it, kind of like Sean. I mean, if I was footnoting or something back in the day, I graduated from college in 1982. So there wasn't even a computer on our campus. Okay. So it's, yeah, I mean, everyone's technologically savvy now, and this would give them easy access to a tool that would help them.
Mhm.
And I do have a little bit of experience in academia, although I've been in sales for 35 years. I was an admissions counselor out of college, small
Awesome.
Iowa Wesleyan College in Mount Pleasant, Iowa, actually, a sister university to OWU, as my kids call it. And yeah, I mean, I think it's an exciting idea, and I think that you're on target with trying to meet the students where they're at, which is social media, TikTok, whatever, and so forth, and then getting student ambassadors to kind of connect with and get your message out there. Like anything else, it's a journey. It's a lot of hard work and everything else, but you're organized, you got a plan, and seems like you'll be ready to adjust as needed. So I mean, I think you just gotta keep implementing it and then adjusting accordingly as you go along.
Yep. Yeah, thank you. I mean, that's one of the biggest issues we've seen, is just like the fact that we have 2,700 plus users, but at 800 plus campuses. It's when students find this, they like it. It's just not one of those things that they're at a party on a Friday night, like, you guys should check out this new tool. So it's definitely solving their issue. We just have to find a way to get them to help out their fellow classmates. That's one reason that we implemented the group projects, hoping that kind of helps out, that someone that's found this, next time they're in class with a 4 or 5 person group project, they share it that way. Yeah, we're excited about the mission. All the tools are focused on graduate students and professors, but high school and college students have a ton to add, and they're a much larger group. So if we empower them to really dig into issues they're passionate about, we could also even see just a whole influx of entrepreneurs then. They feel it's a lot easier to become an expert on a topic. Maybe they spin up a company around it too, not just academic side. So we're excited.
Zach, does this have the ability to build a library of academic works, of research papers?
My screen froze for about the last 10 seconds, so I don't know.
Sorry. Does this have the ability to build a library of research papers and academic work, so that folks can even use those as references and whatnot as they're doing their projects?
Yep. So that's our hope for the future as we build out this database. We want to be very careful with how we use all the data we accumulate. So like when I mentioned insights back to universities, right now the plan is for that just to be for institutional tier. So if you're using the university's paying for your membership, that data can go back to them for insights. But yeah, the other side of the data is they're putting in all these sources. What can we do with that? And we want to make it where if someone's already used that URL, and the web scraping tool didn't do the best job, but they fixed it. Once multiple people have done that, all of a sudden now our auto generation can make sure it's perfect instead of the web scraper where like 15 people have already done that same source. They all fixed it this way. There you go. You don't have to go find the title and the author that the scraping tool couldn't find. Another thing we're really excited about that's going to take a lot more data on the back end is the possibility for eventually, you're doing research on this topic. Maybe you should start with these 2 or 3 articles that other people started with when they were reading that, or along those lines. So we're really excited about helping students like kind of get the first step in the door too. And that's the benefit here is since we're talking about a majority of academia that's just doing these, 1 to 5 papers throughout their college career. Now that we're actually storing all this data, there's no telling like what we can learn and how we can help these students learn more in the future now.
Zach, what I keep thinking is just as you just said, kind of as you start opening the door, it then fosters even more. And I could see it being the launching pad. If you remove some of how intimidating it is, then people are going to really dive in a little bit deeper. So that's really exciting.
Yeah.
So Mike, I think we're going to put you back behind the scenes, but don't go anywhere because we want to bring you back for the community roundtable. We have a few other people back behind the scenes that we're going to pull back up. So we're going to kind of keep bringing them up so we can see if they have any questions. So Coleman, thank you for joining us. I don't know if you are in a position that you can either share any feedback or comment towards Zach's presentation about Opendemia.
Good morning, everyone. I don't, I guess, have any specific feedback. So I took a much more applied approach through school, so I didn't have to do extensive research. However, I do see the value, especially, I even went just 10 years ago, and so tools like this I didn't have available. So it would be a streamlined process for students.
Yeah, and we've definitely thought of that too. You're going to have specific majors where they're just focused on in-lab work and they're not doing as much on the back end. But even students on your side of the fence, there were still probably throughout your 4 years in college, there was still a couple papers sprinkled throughout, I'd imagine. It just wasn't as excessive as a lot of other majors where it's every single semester they've got a new paper like if you're a history major, what else are you going to do besides write papers? So,
Right.
In the STEM fields, it just depends what the focus is on, but there's still a lot of opportunity there, we hope.
Oh, absolutely.
Great. Thank you, Coleman. Thanks for joining us. Don't go anywhere. We're going to bring you back. But now we have Aubrey. Aubrey, same question to you. Are you in a position that you can unmute and join us for a minute or two?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I was not expected to be brought into a conversation.
Well, no pressure at all. I feel like, Aubrey, are you a student?
Yeah.
Very good. Is this something that you've run into where you've had to do research and, has citation or the process of research been daunting at all? And do you think this could be something that you would utilize?
Yeah, I think so.
Wonderful. Very good. Well, we won't put you on the spot. We know, for those of you who don't know, Ohio Wesleyan is actually closed today. So Aubrey, I'm guessing you're an OWU student, and thank you so much for getting up early, joining us today. So we're excited. We're, Opendemia seems to be something that would be right up your alley. So we're excited that you joined us.
And feel free to check out the $500 scholarship opportunity we're doing right now. There's a little banner for it right on the homepage of the website. Just go to opendemia.com. No pressure there either, but take 5 minutes to create a TikTok and you have the chance to win $500. So
not a bad.
Awesome, I will. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Aubrey. Yeah, Sean or Zach, that's such a great reminder that, just as we always say, you're not going to get it if you don't try, but $500, that's a great return on your investment for just a few minutes.
Yep. And that way you can learn a little more about Opendemia, which will be helpful anyway for you. So it's a win-win.
Hey, Zach, just as I watch our legal team go through legal papers and trying to build briefs and whatnot, another potential market for you might even be the legal profession.
Yep.
As they're researching and trying to put together, very complex legal documents for others to utilize.
Yeah, so we're working on that right now. I had a close friend that just graduated law school recently, and I was trying to implement some stuff for her while she was finishing up her last semester. And it's a different citation language that they tend to use, at least when they're in school. And we're still working on how to implement on that back end. The MLA, APA, Chicago are kind of the most popular three for undergrads and high school students. So that was just what we focused on initially. But yeah, we have hopes to much more broadly expand that in the near term future.
Very good. Well, I see we threw up the OpenDemia website as well, and we will make sure that that gets to everybody again after this. Kelly, you are up on screen. I don't know if you have anything that you'd like to add or ask. We're so excited that you're here with us.
Well, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I came on late, so unfortunately I missed most of Zach's. I'm having some power outage and technical difficulties this morning. So
Yeah.
I don't have anything to ask because I missed it, but I do want, is this being recorded so I can go back later?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You will be able to go back and rewatch. And Zach is actually right on campus. So he works out of the Delaware Entrepreneurial Center at Ohio Wesleyan. So you can always come in as well. But yes, this will be online, and then you can check out the website too.
Perfect. Thank you. And if I drop off, it's not an insult to any of you. It's just I'm having all kinds of issues this morning.
Well, we send you and everybody warm wishes and wishes for power. So be safe and everything.
Yes.
I think we may now kind of switch to this kind of special edition of Delaware Does. We may pull a few people up onto the screen who are really adamant that you do not want to be on camera. Just let us know, like throw up a little sign to us. But we're going to just invite people up onto the screen and have a little conversation. If you give us a little wave or, send us a note, we can always pull you off. But we wanted to open this up. This is a really nice time that we can chat about Delaware, about the growing economic development opportunities and initiatives, about the really rapidly growing entrepreneurial ecosystem, and how either you can be a part of it, any questions that you might have. So want to just open it up to anybody who has any thoughts and questions or comments. And Sean will personally deliver some candy or something as a prize if you go first.
Well, if that's the case, so I'll make Sean deliver some candy.
Maybe.
Yeah, no. Well, so it's. So I'm physically in the Delaware Entrepreneurial Center. The snow Mageddon is somewhat here, somewhat not. So the roads are icy, but yeah, it's an exciting time, honestly, to be in Delaware. The activity that we've seen happening at the Entrepreneurial Center, both with students, with small businesses, startups, it's really cool. And then the announcement of Intel and Hyperion, both selecting Columbus here recently. It's really going to be engaging to see what comes of that. Because that's not just a New Albany thing or just a Southern Columbus thing. That's a region thing, right? And so that's going to attract all sorts of vendors, suppliers, customers, high-paying jobs. Intel I think was $135,000 average job, which is great. And I know Delaware, as Sean is economic development, is looking at how our industrial parks support the future growth of those. We're on a transit corridor and everything. So I encourage people to engage with the Entrepreneurial Center, engage with the economic development, whether they've got their own businesses that they're wanting to start, or looking at the high-paying jobs or whatever may be coming. It's really this is going to be a catalyst for the region. So this is $20 billion committed right now, with a B. So, and then $100 billion projected, as long as everything goes well, they can build 8 fab cities with Intel. Hyperion's, creating, I think, a $200 million investment. And so those are, large drops in the buckets that help transform, the region for long term, just like we saw with Honda and what got set up out in Marysville around Honda, starting in the 70s and 80s. You're going to see that again with all this, and it's again a regional play. So, like I said, exciting time. Our company is headquartered out of the Entrepreneurial Center here at Ohio Wesleyan. We love the support services here, and just the networking. So, yeah, I'm excited. Now I get candy.
Just name what you want there, Steve.
Yeah.
Steve, you're right on point. The announcement a couple weeks ago was tremendous for our entire region. And actually, the internal conversation was we've been positioning ourselves in a certain way for a while, and when this announcement was made, it kind of confirmed everything we've been working toward as a community. We have the most educated labor force in the state of Ohio and Delaware County and the city. So we've been trying to recreate ourselves and make sure that we're positioning our new job growth towards the people who live here, want to work here, and bringing others in who share that background. So you're going to be seeing 2 new business parks actually popping up here soon in the city of Delaware. We have Sawmill Point Business Park that'll be discussed next Monday night with City Council. That'll be a tremendous asset just next to our airport for aviation, automotive, and other types of companies that do heavy research and development. We actually have the Pittsburgh Drive Business Park that also is kicking off, and one of the few remaining areas of Pittsburgh Drive that actually will offer kind of an incubator of sorts for companies that need small office warehouse space. These are going to be 1,800 square foot up to 18,000 square foot spaces that somebody can get into that needs a small production area or a small research and development area, lab or whatever. And we can help them build that out and get their company started in there, and then let them grow into larger spaces as their company grows.
And to piggyback off that a little, Sean, I think just to connect the 2 things you guys are saying, the fact that we're going to have these big companies and high paying jobs moving in, and the fact that you've, OWU has set it up so perfectly for the person that just needs some help and is still working from home part-time in their startup. You've got it lined up for that next phase where you can get in the business park, get even, anywhere from 800 to, what'd you say, 18,000 square foot. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's a perfect spot that all these people moving in, when they're ready to jump in and start their own thing, they can work part-time still or work full-time still and work on that at OWU at the deck, and then jump straight into that. Like, you guys are setting up the perfect system. And that's coming from someone that I've only been more actively involved in Delaware for like the past 2 months. So it becomes very obvious very quickly.
Thank you, Zach. It's an incredibly exciting time for all of us, but it truly is a partnership. If Ohio Wesleyan University wasn't here working with us, if all of the fantastic entrepreneurial community wasn't here working with us in the county, this would not be happening. We wouldn't be able to take advantage of opportunities like Intel and Hyperion's announcement yesterday. In fact, multiple entities are working together to try to figure out how to put a motorsports park in that'll have us, a 2.5 mile test track for folks to come in and use, put the research and development on the ground, if you will, put the wheels to the pavement. Again, you have an airport there that can handle jets as large as regional commuter jets, all the way down to small private planes. So you put all those tools together, and we're the perfect location for companies really to get out of the ground.
That's so exciting. I'll share that I'm an alum of Ohio Wesleyan from 2005, and I still like to think that that is not that long ago. I know that it's getting longer ago, but to see the growth in Delaware since I graduated is just astounding. And then to hear where we're headed, and with leadership like you're leading, Sean, and the rest of the community who's bringing those elements into the area, it's amazing. So, in that relatively, I'm still going to say short time, it is just like a brand new community. So it's very, very exciting. And I think going back to something that we kind of commented on before, like once we kind of get that ball rolling, it really just starts speeding up and more people get into the ecosystem and become involved, and then connections are made and it keeps going from there, which is also very exciting. We welcome everyone on screen to unmute and just throw out any thoughts, questions. If you are not on screen and want to be, you can see in the chat areas, in different areas, how you can join us. But Mike, I see you. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Megan. Yeah, I actually live in Westerville in Delaware County, just north of Polaris Parkway, Maxtown Road, and yeah, it is an exciting time for Columbus. I was just talking with a friend of mine yesterday. He's a real estate developer, and he'd lived in the Silicon Valley for 40 years, and then last year moved to Georgia for tax purposes. But he mentioned, hey, Columbus is the place to be. You guys don't have fires, you don't have hurricanes, and hey, Intel just invested $20 billion, which of course, was announced last week. And there's just going to be a lot, there's going to be a lot of other tier businesses, tier 1 and tier 2, that are going to, evolve from this investment. And downtown Delaware as a community just in itself is a really cool little area. And with the university there, it certainly, adds a lot to that community. And, I think, hopefully it's going to be I'm sure it'll be able to retain its charm, but it's going to grow for sure. And, one thing, Zach, I was just thinking back, listening to your conversation and whatnot. And, with the University of Maryland, and I can't remember Prairie View. Who were the other two that you had that were?
Yeah. So yeah, they're not partnerships right now. They're just, their libraries happen to be recommending us to their students, like on their library website. But yeah, it's Maryland, Prairie View A&M, which is a HBCU out of Texas.
Yeah.
Columbus State, and then Ohio University.
Okay.
And the wild thing is, the only one of those that I actually reached out to get that was Ohio University. Maryland, Columbus State, and Prairie View all just found us organically and added us, which has been great. But the ones I'm reaching out to aren't responding, but the ones that find it organically are throwing it up. So I'm trying to figure out what the disconnect there is. So I'm hoping now that we have those, I can say, hey, look, Maryland's recommending us. Why not? Why doesn't the rest of the Big Ten join? So
well, absolutely. And you know what? Just for example, with Sean throwing up his OU stuff, I'm a Ball State guy, by the way. So in the MAC, but different state. But at any rate, have you asked OU to refer you to anyone at Miami, Bowling Green, Toledo, and kind of infiltrate that way?
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to dig into more now. That's been one of the best parts about, at the new year, I moved into a part-time role instead of a full-time one. So I've been able to put more time behind Opendemia. And the biggest thing is finding the person at each university that makes sense to connect with. So like at OU, the reason we got added was I got connected. They have an awesome entrepreneur innovation program down there. Stacy Strauss does a great job. And so she helped me get it there. And then it's once you get introduced to a university, they have a whole new person who adds that. And it's getting, especially at a bigger university like that, like at Ohio State, I got thrown around between 25 different departments, and each one saying, no, I need their approval. I need their approval. I need their approval. And it's like, that's why it's been awesome working with OU, is when they want to make a decision, it's one or two people and you're done. So that's a mindset that I've been considering taking a shift there too, is let's focus on the universities with 1 to 10,000 students instead of trying to tackle all the ones with 25,000 plus. But yeah, that's something I'm going to be hoping to dig into more this semester, and hoping to get some of the college ambassadors helping with that too. When a student reaches out at that own university, that's a lot more impactful. So.
Yeah, because I just think that your early adopters are going to be your best testimonials, and they have relationships at these other universities that you could leverage and connect and have them introduce you to them.
Yep. So I'm gonna double down on that this week. That'll put some fire under me to focus on that.
That's great. I think too, we're seeing some adoption just around Ohio Wesleyan from some faculty members who, what's great about Zach and about Opendemia too is that it's not as though Zach is just trying to sell this product, right? He's trying to make it available so people can start using it and really kind of learn and grow from it.
Yep.
And so just opening it up to, hey, this is an option. This is a resource. And I know across different disciplines at Ohio Wesleyan, that's been really adopted and exciting for them. I saw everybody throwing up their alma mater stuff, and I do have to say, I mean, Ohio Wesleyan's pretty amazing. So we can have a whole battle on that, but we're excited to bring Opendemia to all of the universities. We can just say that. But
Thank you. I'll say that's one thing that I've really tried to focus on. And like when I mentioned, we're not trying to diminish any functionality on the free version. And the storage limit that it currently has is 15 sources, which for any high school undergraduate student, you'd be hard pressed to find one that has had one paper that's required more than 15 sources. Usually that's 2 or 3 papers for them. So we're not just trying to get them in the door and getting them to upgrade. And even the upgrade, I mean, at $10 a semester for pro, I mean, you can't find a resource that cheap anywhere else. And that's the thing. I mean, we can scale so easily, and that's why we're hoping the institutional model of helping them design curriculum will help us keep that price so low for students. We're not just trying to, we're trying to meet students where they are. We're not trying to do anything else other than that.
So we got Nick and Cody on here. You guys can have the mic if you want it.
Yeah, hey everyone. Nice to see you this morning on this icy, crazy morning. I'm a commercial real estate agent here in the Columbus area, and Delaware is an amazing place. And with all those development announcements, it's a really exciting time for you guys. So congratulations on everything you're doing in Delaware. And if there's any way to help with that development, I'd obviously be grateful for the opportunity to do that. And Zach, great platform, man.
Thank you.
Some amazing stuff. I have a friend who is in like the growth space. He helps startups reach new heights as far as growth. It might be worthwhile to connect you guys. I don't know if he can help in that university space, but he's helped a lot of startups gain tons of exposure. So it might be worthwhile to connect you guys. I'd be happy to do that offline if you'd like.
Sounds good. Yeah, just throw a LinkedIn connection my way.
Right on. Sounds good. And make sure you got some coffee or something. This guy's high energy.
All right.
That's so great, Nick. Thank you so much. I think that highlights too the overwhelming support from other entrepreneurs who are just willing to share and help and mentor. And, it's kind of that as we all grow, the rising tide raises all boats. And I think that's so helpful. So thank you for that. And thanks for joining us today. It's great to see everybody from our warm, comfortable areas. So, what are there any other thoughts about, from the community? Anything that Sean, you would like to add, or anybody else? We have some comments coming in. Jill, it's great that you were able to join us. So some folks who are watching us on live stream, this has been great. I know we really love to be in person, and at the same time, we want to make sure everybody stays safe. And so we're so thankful that we could hold it this way. Any other thoughts from around the table? No. All right. We always joke in classes. I'm that teacher, or I'm barely even really a teacher. I can't call myself that, but I will say I'm totally comfortable with silence. But today, this is all about energy and excitement. So we are very excited to have all of you here today. We invite you to join us again the first Thursday of April. So I believe it's April 7th. I'll double check that, but you'll see news about our next Delaware Does. That one pending any amazing weather in April. We'll be in person at the Delaware Entrepreneurial Center at Ohio Wesleyan, right on Sandusky Street. We hope to see you there. If anybody watching and listening right now has an idea that they would like to pitch, please reach out. We would love to showcase you. We'd love to help you grow. One of our main goals with Delaware Does Entrepreneurship is to provide a welcoming environment to share your idea, to get feedback. It is not scary. Hopefully, Zach, you can agree with that everybody's here to help you succeed. So we're excited to help everybody and help continue to grow the entrepreneurial ecosystem. So any last words from anyone around the room?
From me, I just want to say thank you guys again for the opportunity. Nice meeting you all, and feel free to reach out on LinkedIn. Always looking to connect with people and see new ideas.
Thank you, Zach. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sean, and to the city for your partnership with all of this, to the county for your partnership with, along with the city at the Entrepreneurial Center. Thanks, Steve, for helping us with all of our setup here and joining the discussion, being a major part in the ecosystem as well. And to all of our guests, Mike and Nick and Zach, and we had Jill and Aubrey, and Anne is now is watching us as well, and Coleman. I'm sure I'm missing people, but thank you all for being here with us today. And we are excited to see you in April. If you have any questions, reach out. If you are interested in joining us next time as a pitcher, let us know. And we hope that everybody stay safe, be warm, and enjoy the day. Thank you, everybody.
Take care.